Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We're going to do our daily technical analysis update for commodities. We're going to start with the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. I'm going to give you my financial opinions, and if you need any help, check out finding-value.com. This is the last day for the spooky discount code, where you can see the description link below what those discounts are for the monthly and yearly discounts. All right, let's dive in and see what's going on today. We've got the dollar being resilient. It's hanging in there, guys. It's right above this support level. It's obviously up pretty generous today, about 0.5%. And if I were to do this, just to kind of play around, create another line and throw it down here, is this a flag pattern where we came on up, it's flagging, and we're going to rip again to the upside? That very much could be a possibility. What that means is that we could see stronger yields, stronger dollar, or our yields are stronger than other currencies' yields that we're being compared to. So the dollar, it's looking strong. They need to do this in order to keep the commodities in check. I mean, they yields and inflation are somewhat correlated. Yields moving higher chase inflation, but it also self-balances to some extent new lending growth. But to me, it looks like we are going to continue to head higher here. The 2-year yield, it's still in this channel, moving on upward. We're towards the lower end of the channel. We haven't broken out yet. Could we break out? It's possible. I mean, we've got a weaker bounce than the move lower. So usually you get these like impulse moves like that, but we'll see if that actually breaks to the downside. And this is for the 2-year. The 10-year is sideways. So it gapped lower in the morning. Here's the gap lower in the morning, and it was bought up throughout the day. So yields going higher means that we had selling pressure in bonds, put it that way. So bonds had buying pressure, and then it was selling pressure throughout the day. Sometimes they do these techniques where they try to get people to buy or sell. It's like an emotional response, and then they offload into that buying pressure. TYX was down a little bit today. But again, the buying pressure came back throughout the day and pushed it back on up. So we started, I would say, we started gapping downward, which was good for gold. And then we came back up throughout the day, kind of lost that momentum, and gold sold off throughout the day. TYX TNX ratio, we still inverted today. We are still pretty low in this inversion, and we haven't really gone anywhere. So gold's been moving sideways. The yield curve, in terms of it inverting and uninverting, has been moving sideways, and they do match each other. TLT, 20-year bond prices. What is going on here? It looked like it was ready to break to the upside. Here it is, breaking to the upside early day. And then it just took a total crap and went back lower. Which way is this going to break here? Is this going to be a move to the upside? But now, since it's a bearish engulfing, this could break to the downside, which means stronger dollar, higher yields, and lower bond prices. Again, let's watch it over the next few trading sessions to get some more confirmation of where this is actually going to go. Gold is heading a little bit lower. It's still on top of all the patterns here. The only way that they're going to try to contain this, in my opinion, is to raise rates through the roof. That's the only way that they're going to protect the dollar, and it's going to be at expense of the bond market to some degree. But I think the bond market's going that way either way. And higher rates will hold down gold, silver, and the commodity complex for a while. if rates go up strong enough and fast enough. Silver down a little bit. It is a bearish engulfing. We could see sideways to lower pressure, and we'll have to see what the response is. If it's not much selling pressure like these little guys, kind of just comes back, we could see another buying pressure surge, depending on where interest rates are going to go. And again, interest rates, they kind of look like they want to go up. I mean, which is going to hold this stuff down. Platinum up today. It's a small little guy. I consider that the bloody nose or a small profit taking day, and we'll see. I mean, we've broken to the upside. Will we get a return here before heading higher? Very well could, but it looks good, and we've broken that downtrend line. That's the first step for a big move. Palladium still moving sideways. I'm not as interested in this at this moment. I think if it does get down here, this would be a spot to be looking in the lower 900s, like 925. XAU to gold ratio still selling off more. Surprisingly, we're down here at support again, and we'll see if that support holds. If this support doesn't hold, what this screams to me is, to some extent, manipulation. It does scream that because generally gold and a mining company is going to make some sort of money. A lot of these mining companies have been in business and they are struggling to make money. I know we're running deficits in gold, specifically in silver. I know we're running deficits in silver. I know we're running about 1 million ounce deficit a year in platinum. And these guys can't make money. What's going on here? We're running deficits. Inventories, I think, are low. What's going on with this here? So if someone's trying to hold it down, you would see this type of action. But again, throw that away. We'll see if we can get a move here at some point to the upside and start breaking some of these downtrend lines, which we haven't done yet. The CRB index looks like it's up a teeny bit. Again, this could sell off even further. Oil was looking a little bit weak. We can throw kind of a trend line in here. We can throw another one maybe here. Maybe this is developing some sort of sideways action there. And again, we'll see if that's the case. CRB to S&P 500 down a little bit. Nothing really to worry about. And that's kind of what it looks like on the big picture view. I still think we're going to end up going higher in the medium to long term. So GDX, a little bit of selling pressure today. 2.64% down. Hit our head on resistance. And that goes across the board. We were down across the board, down 1.9 in SURGES. We have not broken above this resistance line. We nailed our head on it and just came back. We don't want to break below this guy down here at about $8. Crude oil down 1.29%. We're right on top of the support level. We do have a lot of support underneath us. We've got all this buying, selling pressure underneath us. That goes all the way down to about $66-ish. And there's a lot of support there. So again, we'll see if the support holds. It does look like we could go down a little bit further and go into perhaps that support region down there. TTF gas selling off. Again, we're above support here, and we're just moving all around in this general location. So we're lower on the TTF gas here. We're down about 10% in TTF. This might have something to do with inventory levels over in Europe. Now, natural gas and Henry Hub, we're up a lot. It's the exact opposite. We're up almost 8%, 7.5% today. This looks fantastic to move higher, and I would say TTF does as well. And again, it's going to be highly dependent on weather. I'm cold as heck over here. Some of the lows, we were in the teens in Colorado. It's been cold. I don't like the cold weather, but big bullish engulfing here. It looks pretty good. XOP, now we had some selling pressure in TTF gas, and we had some selling pressure in crude oil. But no one's really paying attention to that selling pressure here in XOP. Yeah, you know me. Up 1.3%. Again, we're right at that neckline. right at the neckline. And I think this is going to break and have a big move to the upside. So again, patience is your friend. And really, your friend if you have a literal friend named Patience. OIH still, it's just moving sideways, guys. We had a down day in crude oil. Energy service going sideways, 0.4 minus 4.4%. But if we get a big bullish engulfing, it's going to be bullish and we're going to be moving higher. So we'll see what the next few trading sessions have and if we can get a bottoming candlestick here. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust continuing higher. I know Camco came out with some earnings and people responded positive to it. So Sprott Physical Uranium Trust heading higher. Big moves in URA, URNM, and URNJ. Looks fantastic. I like how we finished this day. We came up, we started the day very strong. This is the day here. The beginning of the day is right here. And then we basically have it's a sideways channel. I can't draw it very well. We've got a little bit of resistance support coming through here. And maybe we can bust through that again. Kind of an ugly looking deal there. URNM also doing the same thing. We very strong buying pressure in the middle of the beginning of the day, and then we just went sideways and ended towards our closing point, which is always good. URNJ did the same thing. Very strong closing. I like what I'm seeing, and again, hopefully the momentum can continue to the upside. Hands up 1.5%. Looks like it's a little bullish engulfing. Small little guy. We'll see if that's actually the case tomorrow if we get some follow through to the upside. Momentum is definitely to the downside here. COPX, stronger selling pressure here. This looks like we could go further to the downside, and it looks like 30 is another spot that we'll probably hit where support's at. So 30 bucks. LIT selling off. Again, this looks pretty weak. I wouldn't touch it even with your money. Support down at 35, 36 bucks. REMX also heading lower. The momentum is still continuing lower, and we could see further selling pressure. S&P 500 up 0.65%. I am still not convinced that this is a trend change. Your trend change, in my opinion, is here. That breakout to the downside. This is your return move, and you have lower highs coming through here. We've had pretty strong selling pressure coming up, and this is not a convincing enough bounce for me to change my bearish mindset on it yet. So no reversal candlestick down here. I'm going to remain bearish on the S&P 500 along with the NASDAQ. Now the NASDAQ, again, lower highs. This is a new lower low here. We punched out below support, and it's not a convincing bounce here. It's underneath that resistance. So this could easily sell off over the next few trading sessions. Let's watch it. Let's see what happens. KRE, which is the Commercial Banking Index, again, we're still below the resistance level, acting similar to the S&P and the NASDAQ. Further selling pressure could come. We'll see if the markets dump or not. We do have, it looks like, a little kind of pattern there where we could easily dump to the downside. EEM, a little bit lower. We had a stronger dollar. Again, it doesn't like the stronger dollar, down 0.6% roughly, but this will remain depressed as long as the dollar and yields continue moving up. XHB up 1.22%, surprisingly. Again, I'm not convinced this is just doing whatever the S&P and NASDAQ is doing. Momentum's definitely to the downside. No reversal candlesticks, and the bounces have not been convincing enough for me. There's no big, large green army showing up in terms of big buying pressure candlesticks. MU continuing to head lower today, 0.75. Again, momentum's to the downside. I'm not getting in front of it. No reversal candlesticks. We can't put together a good move in copper, but it can't really sell off either. It's just sitting going sideways. It's pretty imbalanced in terms of buyers and sellers. It just continues to move sideways. Again, let's wait and see what happens. Iron ore up a little bit. I think iron ore is going to go higher. I don't know about like the short term, the next few days, but medium term, longer term, I think we're going higher. It looks good. Nickel up 0.88%. This thing just looks funky here. I don't know what's glitching out. I'm not going to make a comment. Aluminum down a little bit. Still looks good. This is a bloody nose. Usually a continuation pattern to the upside. I like how we get the big buying pressure, small selling pressure. It was a little bit surprising to get that downward move here, but it looks good. We'll see if we can get some momentum. Baltic Tri-Index down 3.9. It's kind of following coal right now. And we came back, hit our head on some resistance, and came back down. Coal sold off about 5%. I like it down here, though. We're going to get a full retest down at about a 108, 109. That's the extension of this basing support zone. So get ready for a little bit more, maybe a little bit further sell-off here. And I would be looking at potential investments in coal over the next few weeks. Bitcoin's up about 0.5%. Still looks really good. There's no selling pressure up here, guys. It could get pushed higher depending on whatever's driving Bitcoin. Looks pretty good from a long-term perspective. Ethereum up 0.2%, and that still looks good. Like there's some selling pressure. That's what the wicks are at the top, but it's not strong enough to just catapult this lower. And watch me be humbled tomorrow where they throw a big fat bearish engulfing on this or something. But again, it still looks okay. It still looks fine. And we'll see if we can get some buying pressure or selling pressure to show up here over the next week or two and see which direction it's really going to go in. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Of all the sectors, I think uranium's looking really strong. And some of these other sectors, it's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of a pullback, like coal. Agriculture's been pulling back. Some of the energy service and energy stocks, it's kind of hit and miss depending on what you're looking at. Natural gas looks really strong. Oil looks a little bit weak. Even though I've seen, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but oil demand, it's going up. Surprisingly, which means that maybe there's something going on with the pricing of oil. Because why would you have oil prices go down and unseasonally weird oil and gasoline demand go up? Kind of weird. Anyway, that's what I've got for today. Again, don't forget, this is the last day to use that discount coupon code SPOOKY. And there's a big discount for yearly membership if you want to sign up. It aligns with the longer term membership discounts that I've been giving out as well. So that's what I've got for today. We'll catch you guys next time. This is Finding Value.